You're 20 right now, and what I'm about to tell you is not meant to discourage you in any way, shape, fashion, or form. I just need you guys to lock in on this video real quick, because my goal here is to not discourage you, but to enlighten you. See, I was 20 once before in my life, and I believe I can validate everything that I'm sharing with you guys today in this video because I've gone through it. What I want you to understand is that I am above 20 years old. I am above 30 years old. And I've reached a point in my life where I realized that the 20-year-old version of me is not the same version of me that I was even when I turned 25. As we evolve, things will change, things will shift in your life. And if you make the right decisions in your life, then those bad things that happen in your earlier age, those mistakes that you make in your earlier age, at your 20-year-old stage of your life, then things should speed up for you, especially if your goal is to be intentional at making the right decisions and correcting yourself in the process of growing in your life. So if you're 20 right now, you're likely to experience a lot of headaches. You're likely to make a lot of mistakes. You're likely to struggle in some areas of your life. You're likely to struggle financially. You're likely to struggle when it comes to just making decisions. You're likely to struggle with relationships. You're likely to struggle with making good decisions. You're likely to make a lot of poor decisions in your effort of growing, trying to figure it out. You're likely to make your greatest mistakes during this season, during this era of your life. And again, I don't say any of this to discourage you. I come through with this video to encourage you and to give you some aspects of assistance along the way. See, when I was your age, I had to learn everything the hard way. I had to pretty much learn it all on my own to be where I'm at today. It took a lot of mistakes, and I made plenty of them when I was in my 20s, which led me to where I'm at today. And that's the reason why you're going to hear me emphasize the word intentional, because the moment that you become intentional when it comes to your day-to-day activities, your day-to-day actions, your day-to-day decisions, then that is when the hard part of your life, even in your 20s, as a matter of fact, there are people in their 20s who get it now. Shout out to the young men and young women who are figuring it out now in their 20s, who got it figured out now in their 20s. So even when you have it figured out, if you're going to make mistakes in your life, which at every stage, at every era, you're going to make mistakes, but make your biggest mistakes now. Make your biggest mistakes now. One of the mistakes that I made is going to the clubs all the time, partying all the time, getting all the time, getting all the time, just pretty much doing a bunch of nothing that didn't do anything to serve my growth or push me higher in life. And I can share many different examples, but I just wanted to share one at least. But I want to let you know that, again, if you're going to make those mistakes, make them now. And I'm not encouraging you to make those mistakes. I'm just saying, if you've made mistakes up to this point of your life where you're watching my video, then let this be the video that resonates with you. Let this be the video that encourages you to start being intentional with your time, to start being intentional with your energy, to start being intentional when it comes to your decisions, when it comes to your walk of life. It's time to start getting intentional and being critical about it and urgent when it comes to how you decide to push forward in your young life. Because again, you're likely to make the biggest mistakes when you're in your 20s, and especially if you're someone like me who didn't really have a lot of guided direction. I didn't really have anybody in my life to really teach me. And if you're like me, then again, you're likely to make your biggest mistakes in your 20s, and some people don't come back from them. Some people make certain mistakes the way that I've grown up, the environments that I was placed in, some of the decisions that I made, put myself in environments such as, again, going to the clubs and partying. Some people didn't come home from those parties. Some people didn't come home from those blocks they was hanging out of. Some people didn't come home from those girlfriends' houses that they were going to, or that boy's house that they went to if you're a young lady. Some people didn't make it home. Some people did not return home based on the decisions that they made in their early 20s. And I don't want that to be you. Again, if you're going to make your mistakes, get it out the way now. I don't encourage you to make mistakes. I don't encourage you to choose the wrong thing, but you're likely to make your most mistakes when you're in your 20s. Because if you're in your 30s and you're finding yourself moving the same way you did when you was in your 20s, then I'm not here to judge, but I am going to say it's sad to keep it real with you, because we have invested enough time to where we should have learned some things that advanced us and elevated us in our life up to that point. Again, at 25, you should not be the same version of you at 20. There should be some growth in your life when you're 25. some growth in your life when you're 26, some growth in your life when you're 28, when you're 29. By the time you're 30, you should look a lot different than when you were 25, than when you were 20. And especially when it comes to the financial department, you know, the moment you get a lot of money, again, when you're younger, you're likely going to spend it recklessly. You know what I mean? A lot of us don't learn the lesson of spending it the right way until we've lost a lot of the money. So if you're watching this video, I'm encouraging you to take this time in your 20s when you work and you earn money, when you have income. Start learning how to become financially successful now by putting aside money for yourself, investing in yourself, investing in your future, thinking about your future version of yourself, and not just the things that you want to do right now with your money. The things that you want to do with your money right now is, of course, spend, but you got to understand, if you're not getting anything back in return from what you're spending, then again, you're wasting a lot of opportunity right now in your 20s, as you're 20 years old, to set up success for yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now. By the time you're 30, you could literally be a millionaire if you're not already. There's a lot of young, rich millionaires right now, a lot of six-figure earners. Shout out to y'all, and shout out to the ones that are trying. But if you're 20 years old and you've been messing up your money, this is your video. This is your reminder to at least be mindful of your decisions right now, to say, stop, I'm going to put it on halt, I'm going to put it on pause, and I'm going to sit myself down and start putting some money to the side and start saving so that I can set my future up, so that I can set myself up for success later on, so that I can set my family up for success later on. You don't realize you may have a child by the time you're 25. You're going to want to be able to have some type of finances to be able to take care of your child. You may get married at 25. You may want to go on vacations at 25. You may just want to have the money in general. You may not know what you want to do by the time you're 25 or 30. You may have a child, may not. You may get married, a girlfriend or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's better to have options. It's better to have options than to be depleted. And this is your opportunity to, at least if you've been making mistakes or make mistakes, to be caught up to speed by watching videos like this, by watching content like this, by locking in on my videos, by subscribing and turning on your post bell notification, to be caught up to speed so that you can advance yourself in life and learn from an individual who have done it. And again, even if you've made those mistakes, I want you to understand that you can actually still recover if you're alive. I've made those mistakes, but you know what? I'm still alive and I've had enough time to correct those mistakes. So if you're making mistakes in your 20s, 30s, or whatever the case may be, if you start making the right choices right now, using your right now moment to your advantage, then you can recover. You can turn things around, but it's all about being intentional. Keyword intentional. It's all about the decisions that you make going forward. It's all about not allowing distractions to get the best of you. It's all about you being the person that navigates your own life, that makes the choices that helps you grow and elevate and advance in life. It's all decision-based. It's all a choice. We all have the power of choice. We all have the power to decide which way we want to go, whether we want to grow or whether we want to stay the same. But if you're 20 right now, I definitely want to especially talk to you because, again, I didn't have anybody to coach me. So let me be your coach. Let this be your video that reminds you the importance of taking advantage of your 20s and making the best decisions ever in your 20s. If you like videos like this, continue to lock in. More videos on the way. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate all the love and support that we get. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Peace and blessings. One love. String.